What's the most unsettling thing someone casually mentioned, but you later realized was serious? I remember sitting across from my friend Sarah at our favorite little cafe, sipping coffee and chatting about life. She seemed a bit tired, but I didn't think much of it. We all have our off days. At one point, she made an offhand comment that stuck with me. She said, sometimes I wonder if anyone would really notice if I just disappeared. She followed it with a chuckle, one of those casual laughs we use to brush off a heavy thought. I didn't take it seriously. I joked back, saying her cat would definitely notice since he's always waiting to be fed. We both laughed, and the conversation drifted to lighter topics, like work, weekend plans, and random gossip. I assumed it was just one of those things people say when they're feeling overwhelmed. Looking back, though, there was a certain sadness in her eyes, a hint that maybe she was reaching out. A few days passed, and I didn't hear from her. It was unusual, but I thought maybe she was just busy or needed some space. But then a week went by, and she missed our regular Saturday coffee meetup, a tradition we'd kept for years. I texted her a few times, and each time there was no response. I brushed it off at first, thinking she might be traveling or caught up with something. Then I started to feel a nagging sense of worry. When her phone started going straight to voicemail, my worry grew into full-blown panic. I reached out to a mutual friend, who told me they hadn't heard from her either. That's when we decided to contact her family, and together we reported her missing. The police got involved, and the search felt like it stretched on forever. Each day that passed without word from her felt heavier. I kept replaying that lunch conversation in my mind, wondering if I'd missed something obvious. I remembered her laughing it off, but now it felt more like a mask, a thin veneer covering something darker. Days later, the police delivered the news that shattered us all. Sarah had taken her own life. She left behind a note, and in it, she described a deep, lonely struggle that none of us had fully seen. She had been feeling isolated, like she was drifting through life without truly being seen or heard. The shock of that revelation hit me like a freight train. I had been right there with her, hearing her words, but I didn't listen closely enough. Her casual remark about disappearing was more than just a passing thought. It was a plea for help, masked in humor. I couldn't shake the guilt, wondering what I could have done differently. I kept thinking, if only I had dug a little deeper, asked her how she was really doing.